Yeah, figured that happened. All right. So luckily that was only like the first minute. So what we're going to do here, let me just reiterate what I was stating. So now that the volume is turned on, um, this is a video that I, in a sense, wanted. Hey, Mr. Durant, what's up? What is up? What is up? This is a video that I, in a sense, wanted to cover, but I wasn't able to due to the fact that I was sick. So now I can actually cover that video, and I'm more than likely going to do both a live version, which is today, and I'm going to have the recorded version loaded up at some point. And the main thing that I want people to pay attention to is what the mother is stating and what it is that she is not specifically stating, and how it is that she is stating these things. My one main point is this: at no point in time, as someone who was raised in a single parent household, never at a point in time did my mother ever fix her face to say that I, excuse me, that I am the man of the house, and giving me this broad, type of title and all these other types of things. Women, single mothers out here need to stop doing this, because you're putting a unnecessary burden directly on that child, on that young boy. You're not even allowing him to figure himself out, who it is that he wants to be. You're not allowing him to travel and make his way through life. You're just handing him a title due to the fact that you decided to lay with many, 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 many men. And because you couldn't take responsibility for yourself, you're now forcing your son to take hold of all of your responsibilities. You're forcing your son to take acceptance for your mistakes and everything that you decided to do, right? So let me just go over and let you guys hear what it is that she stated, right?
The time of the day it was, despite like all of that. Children are children. Some of them grow up too fast. Some of them do things that they're not supposed to do. And some of us parents are not aware at all times. What I can say is that Quran came from a good home, and I try my best with him, you know. But Jason Lewis, he ain't had no right. He had no right. It could have went a whole different way, you know. And it's like everybody is like, what is he doing out at 4 a.m.? Like, would y'all feel better if it was at 4 p.m.? A crime is a crime, and that's just that. He took my baby, my firstborn, and it's messed up. But I gotta live with that. But I really hope that I get justice for my child, and I hope that this man is convicted. We're not gonna be there every single time or at every single like anything at every single moment, you know? And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. You hear me? He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house. That's who helped me. And he took him from me. The time.
So just Just trying to make sure if everybody was able to hear that. She said she tried with her son. She said that the son came from a good household. Now, I I can't, I'm just trying to figure out how good of a household can it be if you stated that you don't live with a man, which means, right, you don't have any type of a authoritative, positive black male role model there for that son to look up to, which means that if he is to look up to somebody, it's going to be somebody out there on the streets, or he's going to be looking up to his friends, right? And then he wanted to, say that, he was a good kid, and he is, one of the four. He is your oldest. You depended on him. And that's the main thing that I'm talking about. Women out here who are single mothers, stop giving your sons the title of man of the house when that child did not even create that life. He didn't create that house. He didn't even put you in that predicament. Stop giving him that title. Like that's a title for an actual adult male to come in and take hold of that and to basically fix what is wrong there. That's not for a little boy to sit up, because that's what he was. That he's 13. That's a boy. He's not a man. He's not anywhere close to a man. He doesn't even have, excuse me, an understanding of what it is to be a man. Some men in their 30s and 40s still don't know what it is to even be a man. So how do you, as a mother, as a woman, as a mother of four, decide to hand that title over to your son when you realistically yourself haven't even seen an actual man? Where is the father in your life? Where is the man or the men that you slept with in order to create these children? Like I said, you're handing over titles that you don't even have any type of idea or tangibility of what it is. It doesn't make sense. Like, titles are no good if they don't have meanings. If they don't have any type of like value or understandings. A person that is just out there with many, 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 many men cannot give somebody, especially a boy, the title of a man. You can't, because you don't got the understanding. You don't. You've never even held or even been near a man. Due to the fact that you're a woman, you only have the idea of what a man is. That's it. You have your own vision, your own theory, your own thought, your likes of what a man is supposed to be. A man knows what a man is and what a man is supposed to be because he has walked, lived, and has gone through that journey. So he could potentially look at a young boy who is doing all the correct things in life, and he can sit up there and imagine, yo, that's a man. He's becoming a man, right? Or depending on how great his achievements are, he might like, that's a man. Yes, he is a teenager, but that is a man. He's more of a man than a lot of the other men out here. A man can give that title to a young boy because a young boy will have an understanding because he can see through that man and get that understanding. Women can't deliver that title. You can deliver the title of what it is to be a woman, young lady. You can easily sit up there and you're a woman yourself. You can easily do that. You can easily do that. Even if the title might be a little bit tad screwed due to the fact that whatever a woman is today is vastly completely different versus when other people were growing up. So definitions are completely screwed, understandings are completely screwed as well. So this is in a sense where we are. Again, for the single mothers that are directly out here, y'all have to sit up here and like, y'all have to really do better. I already know that you're going to have people whenever it is that I happen to put out the video instead of a live stream. I already know that there's going to be people in the comment section that are probably going to say, well, what about the men? What about the men? What about the men who sit up there and get these women pregnant? Yada yada yada. Well, how about this? You have all of the wrong types of guys out here who are going to do the wrong types of things. Am I going to continuously blame them for doing the wrong types of things? No, that's just what they're going to do. Now, it is up for women to discern if they want to deal with the guys that keep doing the wrong types of things or if they want to deal with the right types of guys. 9 times out of 10, women will deal with the wrong types of guys doing the wrong types of things. So I'm not about to sit up there and try to have every single black dude out here holding an L because this woman decided to sleep with one or a multitude of different guys in order to have 4 kids. Not about to sit up there and do that. We're not about to sit up there and do that here. That is an L directly on her. Because of the fact that she chose wrong in life, that she didn't manage her life properly, it inevitably led to the downfall of her son, who then grew up, got the title of man of the house at the age of 13, on top of being the oldest, which technically he should just be the only child. He shouldn't have been the oldest. He should have just been her only child. For whatever reason, she decided after one failed relationship or whatever relationships it was, don't even matter if it was one. Don't even matter if it was one. After whatever relationship it was, she decided to continuously go out there and have more kids. You're not going to sit up there and tell me that that's the man's fault. She knows her situation. A man does not automatically directly know a woman's situation unless a woman is forthcoming about her situation. Some women will go out here on dates knowing that they got an army full of kids back at the house and probably pregnant on the date and won't tell the guy nothing. And the guy won't sit up there and learn about all of this stuff up until months later. So again, I'm not about to sit up there and go that whole route of sitting up there blaming guys. I'm not about to sit up there and do it. Because every woman out here knows her situation and knows what it is that she can manage and what it is that she can handle. You have a lot of women out here that will continuously go from bad guy to 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 bad guy, leading into situations like this where young Mr. Blake doesn't have anybody to look up to, no positive male role model, because a positive male role model has never been presented, more than likely has never been directly in his face, never been consistently there. More than likely, let me put it to you like this. He's more than likely never seen his mom with a positive male role model. How about that one? How about that one? If we're going to, if people want to go the route of blaming black men for everything, somebody has to explain to me, why is it that a lot of these women never put themselves or pair themselves up with a black man that is a positive male role model that is both loving and respectful of them and also values them? So much so that he wants to make sure that everything that he is, all of his worth, is going to shine down on that son or on those kids so that they got something to look up to, something to aspire to be, something to stare at so that they don't stare towards the darkness. The things that you were able to hear this woman say was the fact that she is not accountable, she is not responsible, is she is not going to acknowledge any of the faults, any of the actions that she decided to go through with that enabled her son to walk the road that he walked that inevitably caused his downfall, that inevitably caused him to lose his life. Now, I will sit up there and say this. From some of the other information that was stated about the black dude who ended up taking his life, they said that he first saw the car parked down the street, not bothering nobody. He decided to fire like a shot or two directly into the car. You're not supposed to sit up there and do that. You're on your own property. Nobody is harming you. You don't have to, you're not forced to defend yourself. That car is all the way down there, not bothering nobody. For whatever reason, he decided to fire the first shot and do that into a parked vehicle with occupants decided directly in there. That was directly on him. He should be facing jail and or prison time. After they dispersed, you had Mrs. Blake's son running down the street. Not sure if he knew where the shots were coming from. The dude, I guess, saw Caron basically running and decided to sit up there and fire a few more shots, basically taking the young man's life. Again, if they can even prove, which more than likely they probably will be able to, that there was like no type of immediate threat or anything like that, because even the police said he was, when all of this happened, that man was on his own property. Nobody was on his property. They even showed you what the property looks like. Nobody was on his property, but he decided to sit up there and do this. Yet again, he should be facing some type of jail and or prison time. You don't have no type of rights at all. Don't care if you are licensed to carry. You do not have any type of rights to fire into an occupied vehicle that is not bothering, that is not messing with nobody, that is not putting you into no immediate type of imminent danger, that is not threatening your life, nothing like that. He had no right to sit up there and do that. No right to sit up there and do that at all. I do not condone that nonsense. I do not condone that type of madness at all. But going back to what she stated earlier, she said by her own words, everything could have went differently. She's right. Everything could have went differently if she would have just focused on her oldest son and not had any more kids. Everything could have went differently if she would have put positive black role models in front of his face, somebody positive for him to look up to. She could have potentially saved his life if she took more time to actually watch after her son, because she said herself, well, kids do stuff they're not supposed to do, and you can't watch them at all times. What are you doing that is so important as a mother that at 4 o'clock in the morning you don't know what your son is doing? You can come here directly in front of the news like you looking like nice. You got some jewelry on, got some nice glasses, got the lipstick, got the nice hat, the coat. Right? You can make sure that you look great for this, but you couldn't have made sure that at 4 a.m. that you were a great mother. That's crazy to me. So it's like you're not, in a sense, trying to blame yourself, but you're trying to place the blame somewhere else. It's weird. You can't say that you're a parent, but then backtrack on that and be like, yeah, I'm a parent, but you can't be everywhere, all at once. You can't have eyes everywhere. 4 a.m. in the morning? 4 a.m. in the morning. Single parent household. My mom. Where was my ass at? Where was my black ass? 13 years old, 4 a.m. in the morning. I was playing my damn game system. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. I might have been sitting up there watching Adult Swim. Might have been watching like Gundam, Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z, something. I might have been doing that. I might have been on a computer. I wasn't out at 4 a.m. with somebody else in a car. First of all, hold on. How many 13-year-olds even know somebody at the age of 13 or whatever that got a car? What? I didn't know anybody at 13 that had a car, and I wasn't hanging out with them either. Nobody that I knew had a car. Nobody that I knew was hanging out at 4 a.m. in the morning, just on a block, just doing whatever. There's nothing out there at 4 a.m. for a 13-year-old to be out there doing. What? Dice games? Trying to like steal some stuff and hock it? Trying to sell some drugs? Like what are we talking about here? Because again, you got to go back to what she stated. She openly stated this. He's the man of the house. No man is, I don't live with no man. I depend on him. He took that away from me. Just within that short little thing told you so much about her right there. And then that told you so much about what that young man had to basically deal with and how fast he, in a sense, had to sit up there and grow up. It wasn't his responsibility to be the man of the house because you selectively chose the wrong men to sleep with and to have kids with. So he got to take up all the responsibility for your past failures of men. He got to become the perfect man while you still go out there and consistently sleep with and be around failures. That's crazy to me. For any single black woman out there, don't do this to your sons, because if you do, this is going to be the story. This is what that story is going to look like. When you put all of the failures of the wrong men on your son so that he can be the perfect one, this is what that story is going to become. Because you're not allowing him to grow. You're not allowing him to figure out nothing. How is he going to be something that he doesn't even have the actual idea, even what it is? How? But you know now what's going to happen? Now what's going to happen is that whoever is the second in line, if it is another son, now he has to take his place. Now he has to live up to whatever standard that he put up, that his mother, in a sense, gave to him to uphold for the house. And it's going to be an exact same vicious cycle. And due to the fact that they're growing up seeing their mom produce kids, they're going to grow up to do the exact same thing. And I keep telling a lot of women, like, y'all don't understand, like, y'all shouldn't be raising sons. Because how your sons end up seeing you get treated, they're going to end up treating other women. A lot of women like to sit up there like, oh, well, if you're a guy and you're out here being a womanizer, like, what do you think is going to happen if you sit up there and have a daughter? That means that, other guys are going to sit up there and treat your daughter the same way that you treat women. If you don't want that, then stop treating women like this. Yo, women, going out here and hoeing yourself out. You keep. Wow. So magically I lost connection. Magically I lost connection on that one. All right. So the point of the matter is, right? If for the women that are directly out here, if you stay out here and you want to be running the block, you want to be sitting up here hoeing from guy to guy to guy to guy, guess what? Your son is going to see that. Your son, because of the main terminology, because mother is God, no matter how you defile yourself, your son is still going to respect you because you gave life to him. Right? Ain't that the messed up part? No matter how you disrespect or devalue yourself in front of your son is built to respect you, even though you don't deserve it. But because he has that initial thought and he is built to do that, Any other woman that ain't you, he's gonna be sitting up there treating them the exact same way that you allowed those guys to treat you. And then you wonder why it is that a lot of your sons got like 7 kids and he ain't with none of those women. He ain't with none of those kids. He ain't a father to none of them. Because all of the men you slept with, you ain't make those men be a father to none of those kids. Same circle, same circle. But like I said before, you got a lot of women out here that like running from accountability, responsibility, and don't want to accept or acknowledge any of the actions that led to the life that they have at this moment in time. That's clear cut what she stated. Matter of fact, let's uh let's go right back. Let's go right back to that clip because we got a little bit more people in here. So just in case, let me just catch people up to speed, right, real quick.
The time of, of the day it was, despite all of that. You know, children are children. You know, some of them grow up too fast. Some of them do things that they're not supposed to do. And some of us parents are not aware at all times. What I can say is that Karan came from a good home, and I try my best with him, you know. But Jason Lewis, he had no right. He had no right. It could have went a whole different way, you know. And it's like everybody is like, what is he doing out at 4 a.m.? Like, would y'all feel better if it was at 4 p.m.? A crime is a crime, and that's just that. He took my baby, my firstborn, and it's messed up. But I gotta live with that. But I really hope that I get justice for my child, and I hope that this man is convicted. We're not gonna be there every single time or at every single like anything at every single moment, you know. And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. You hear me? He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house. That's who helped me. And he took him from me. The time.
So I just wanted to replay that just in case anybody was confused on what it is specifically that I am speaking on and why it is that I am directly speaking on it. She told you everything about herself, everything about the household, everything about how it is that her son is no longer here. She told you all of that directly in so few words. And again, I'm sitting up there stating specifically to the black women out here who are single mothers who are raising sons in this timeline. Stop sitting up there. Continue. If you got 1 kid, keep it at 1 kid. Keep it at 1 kid. Because obviously, whatever relationship that y'all had where it didn't work out, you don't need to be in relationships up until after this kid is fully grown. Because you got a lot of soul searching, a lot of working, all the other type of stuff to do. It is not up to your oldest to, in a sense, take care of the whole house. Your oldest child is not meant to sit up there and be a third parent or a secondary parent. That is not the goal of a child. That is not what a child is supposed to sit up there and do. It's not. It's not. I done known friends that got to sit up there and they had to. My bad. I know friends that had to sit up there and raise other siblings. That's jacked up. That's jacked up. And people wonder why it is that people don't want to have kids. That's why. If you've had to sit up there and raise your own family, you had to fight and argue and bicker with them and deal with all of that. You really think that you want to sit up there and deal with something that you got to create that's going to come from you, that's going to be disrespectful? No. You about to sit up there and take time off. You'll think about being a parent maybe like 30 years down the road. You ain't about to do it right now. Like I said, a lot of parents out here, y'all need to stop doing that. Stop forcing like your teenagers to take care of like the younger kids. That's wrong to do. They're not the reason that you're going out here continuously having sex unprotected, create more kids. This is just me being honest. Like I said, looking at some of my friends who have had to sit up there and raise siblings. Parents, stop doing this. Stop making your oldest kids full-fledged babysitters responsible for like the younger kids. You're responsible for the kids because though your oldest is still a kid. And then you get mad at them if the younger kids did something that they weren't supposed to do. No, get mad at yourself because it's on you because you wanted to take a break from being a parent and do some shit that you wanted to sit up there and do. Like I said, you can't tell a lot of people shit. This is why a lot of kids, you know, this is why you got a lot of kids sitting up there doing stuff at such a fast rate because parents are forcing kids to grow up faster than what they should have to grow up. So for the adults out here, just because you fucked up your life, don't fuck up your kid's life. Just because your parents forced you to be the carrier of the household, to manage the younger kids, don't sit up there and force that on your kids. Like I said, we're supposed to be breaking curses, right? We're supposed to be breaking curses. We're not supposed to sit up there and force a burden or a type of resentment between kids. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, your oldest child that has to monitor and watch everybody else, they're going to have a type of resentment, not only about you, but also about those kids. And they're going to be the first ones to sit up there and book it far away from all of y'all. Because they ain't trying to deal with nothing else. Because you forced them to sit up there and do it because they had to do it. Why? Because you produced them. You got to do what I say because it's my house and all this. Like I said, y'all going to end up forcing bad relationships with your own kids. Like I said, I don't know what else to tell a lot of y'all. I don't. Because like I said, you got too many people out here. They feel like they know what's best. And they feel like they doing what's best. And can't nobody tell them nothing. So then they wonder why it is later on in life that they end up having this fractured relationship or where all this resentment came from all of a sudden. You need to go back and think how you forced them kids to grow up. And then your only excuse is like, well, it is what it is. I grew up that way and other people grew up. No, it ain't. No, that's an excuse. Just say, as an adult, I didn't know how to wrap it up. As an adult, I wanted to continuously have unprotected sex, knowingly that it was going to end up producing more children, knowingly that I did not have the physical capabilities of monitoring every single child, thereby forcing you to be the oldest to be responsible for them where I can't be. Just say that. But a lot of adults can't even sit up there and even sit up there and fix their face to say that, yeah, I'm at fault. I'm wrong. They can't do that. You're not going to have adults out here looking their kids in the face, telling them like, yo, you know what? I was wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize for being incorrect. You were actually correct. Adults don't do that. Parents don't do that. Because if parents did, they would actually have a better relationship with their kids. If parents did, they would actually have a better understanding with their kids. If they did, a lot of kids would not actually mind taking care of their parents once they start reaching an older age. Like I said, everything is very fucked up. And to anybody who has had to grow up and you were forced to not even be able to be a child, like you didn't get a chance, like, yeah, I'm about to watch, some cartoons, you'll eat some cereal, I'm about to go out with friends. For any of y'all that wasn't able to do that, I'm sorry. I am so 1,000% sorry that your parents were irresponsible, that they could not manage their sexual activity, that they could not wrap it up enough so that you could actually live a proper fucking childhood. I'm sorry that that sat up there and fucked up your perception of what it is to be a parent and wanting to have kids. I'm sorry that that might have also fucked up your ability to want to have a relationship with somebody because out of fear, you're like, no, no, no. If I do have a relationship and I do care, then this person might want kids. I don't really want kids. I'm sorry. I'm going to sit up there and say it because your parents are too fucked up to sit up there and say it to you. Because if you were to go to your parents right now, they're just gonna, it is what it is. What you gonna do about it? You got a lot of bold ass, dumb ass parents like that, and some of y'all got those parents. And again, I'm sorry that whatever God that you believed in gave you those fucking parents because you didn't deserve that. You deserved the ability to live life as a child, not to live life as a child having to jump to an adult and have to be forced to deal with responsibilities and shoulder the weight of the world because your parents are too fucked up to do it themselves. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that that happened to you. I'm very sorry that that happened to you. Like I said, this whole situation right here could have been vastly different if one person would have decided to take ownership and actually be an adult. If the mother would have took ownership, be like, you know what? I want my son to be a boy. I want him to grow up to be a young teenager. I want him to, go out there and, have fun with friends and da 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 and all this other type of stuff. I want to see him grow up to be a young man and all this. If she just would have slowed down just enough to just not think about herself, but to think about her firstborn son, the same way that she's focused and thinking about him now, he would still be here. But how many people around her do you think are going to tell her that? They're not. They're not going to do that. Nobody is. Because everybody's like, well, it's an emotional time. Uh, that's just an asshole thing to sit up there. Well, I'll be that asshole. I will be straight up that asshole because nobody else is going to do it. For a lot of women out here that are continuously having kids, stop fucking having kids. This is one of the main reasons why I sat up there and I was so vocal on a lot of damn videos, specifically when I'm talking about black women because I'm black myself, came from a black woman. I looked at responsible black women in my family. So I'm going to speak from what it is that I was able to see, what I was raised by, because my standards are motherfucking high as fuck. Because I look at my mom and then I look at the women that I see today and I don't really see shit. I see a whole slew of irresponsible black women out here, and I'm generalizing as fuck out here, the reckless behavior, the mouth, the attitude. You can even look directly in an interview when she was explaining and talking about her son. You saw some of the hood about to sit up there and come out, and then she had to pull it right back. And then she kept talking. The hood was about to come forth, and she had to pull it right back. As a woman, that shouldn't even be there. That type of like aggression, that shouldn't even be there. That's crazy. Like, all right, maybe you got that aggression because you might be about to be, you gonna do something, right? That's usually how men are. Like I said, there's a difference in anger from if you look at women who lost a male relative or a loved one like back in the day versus women now, it's a whole different type of energy. And again, you'll have some people basically state, oh, well, that's because the men aren't here. And she told you herself. What did she tell you? As a single, independent mother who can do everything, she is the mother and the father. I don't live with no man in my household. My son is the man of the house. I depend on him. What? How can you get onto a platform that not only is just broadcasting in your state, in all the rest of the United States, but this is getting shown all over the world. And you're boasting about not living, you're a single mother. So first of all, let me break it down. Hold on. You're a black woman, single black woman, single black woman with 4 kids. Single black woman with 4 kids, ain't none of the fathers in the picture. Single black woman with 4 kids, independent, living in a house, no positive black male role model, and you're stating and you're boasting on television that your son is the man of the house. And people get mad at me when I make videos critiquing black women. And people get mad at me when I make videos critiquing black women, but this is the type of shit that y'all let slide? This is the type of shit that doesn't get critiqued or talked about? This is the type of shit that gets publicized and it's made positive? But oh, let me go back. Let me just go back for a quick second. Let me just remind y'all. I'm critiquing this harshly, but you have other people that are actually cheering this. Right? I'm critiquing this for very valid fucking reasons. But you will have black women out here with platforms cheering the fact that this young man sat up there and lost his life. They're not critiquing and saying how this situation could have been prevented, how it could have been fixed. No. They're happy. They're cheering. They're toasting wine glasses that this black woman sat up there and lost her son. They're happy that there is one less out here. So, like I said before, it's interesting being a part of social media and looking at the videos that get made and listening to how it is that people talk on their platforms, and then just looking at the whole surrounding pictures. It's very interesting. But like I said, it is what it is. You got black women out here that can sit up there and make slew of videos cheering this type of stuff on, being happy about this stuff happening. No videos get reported. Nobody's saying anything. They still got a platform, still getting donations, still getting subscribers. Nothing. But if you're a black man and you just so happen to make videos about black women and you're critiquing it just to try to sit up there and fix a problem, to point out something that needs to get fixed so it doesn't get worse, now you're bashing. It's funny. It's completely funny. But wait. Franklin said, I told my mom at 22 she played me out of my childhood and she had to sit in that truth. Nah, because that is true. If your mother basically had you raising your younger siblings, she did play you out of your childhood because nobody told her ass to go out there and have more kids. Knowing the fact that the original father, the man or whoever it was not going to be present. Nobody told her to do that. Nobody's telling any of these women out here to do this. And that's the problem. Women aren't sitting up there telling women to sit their asses down and to stop having kids. If you got a failed relationship with it, let's say like this, right? You got a woman that might have just been with like one dude and she got two kids. Sit your ass down. Don't have no more relationships. Just focus. And this is also the thing I'm saying because I ain't trying to hear no women talk about, oh, but if I would have listened to you, I would have never found my husband of like 99 years. I ain't talking about you. You're a variable. Sit your ass down somewhere else. I'm talking about the greater majority that make up the community that are still going through failed relationships right now as black women. As a black woman, if you've continuously had boyfriends before you even gotten pregnant, if you continuously had boyfriends or some type of long relationships, whatever the fuck those are at this moment in time, and they've never gone anywhere, sit your ass down, go get an education, go figure some shit out. Go travel the world. Go see a Buddhist. Go try some variable of different religions. Go mix some stuff. Become a Wiccan. I don't know. But relationships at this point in time is not for you. I would rather you do everything else out here, but potentially create a child out of chaos. And then you want to turn around and say, well, even though I didn't have bad relationships, the child is the best thing that I got. There are too many women out here that have said that. And that's sorry to say. That's pretty sorry. I'm just going to be 1,000% honest. That's not realistically nothing to boast about. That's great. The child is here, but what's not great is that child is not going to have that father that helped created it in order to help raise it. So it might be great for you because that's the greatest memory that you might have from that relationship. That's awesome. That's the selfishness within you because you don't want to hold on to any type of regret. Out of that regret, you want to find some positivity. Great, I got it. You're being selfish because you're still hurt about that relationship. Okay, good. But what about that child? What's going to be great for that child? All the child got is you. That's not really too great because you're broken as a woman. You're broken. You got shards within you. Every time you hug that child, you're passing those shards. Every time you talk to that child, you're passing on that hurt and all that other type of stuff because 9 times out of 10, a lot of women end up having sons. So you can say that that little boy is the greatest thing from that sorry ass relationship, but guess what? That son is still a reflection of that man. So even though you say that you love that son, you still regret that son because he more than likely reminds or he looks just like that father. And that's something that you got to sit up there and live with for the rest of your life every single time you look at him. So now every single time you get mad at him, you're thinking back to the father who ain't even thinking about you. So now that young boy has to now shoulder and burden all of that hurt and that regret that you're still holding on to because he is a part of a relationship that you want to forget, but you can't because he is a product of that relationship. And as a product of that relationship, you're not trying to reject him, even though in a shape, way, or form you do regret him. But then within that, you still say that he is the best thing to still come from that piss poor ass relationship. And you think that you can sit up there and, as a broken woman full of regrets, raise that son to the best of your capabilities? You cannot. But a lot of women fool themselves into doing so. And I keep trying to tell a lot of parents out here that your children are a reflection of you. If you are broken and jaded in any type of way, it's going to come through in your kids. and your kids are honest. Like I said, adults lie, right? So as adults, we can see family or strangers, friends, whatever it is. We can see the faults in whatever it is in people. But because we care about people and because we understand how words work and how things can hurt, we're going to lie in a sense. We're not going to be truthful and honest about that person because we don't know how deep that may cut. We don't know where that may go. We don't know what type of well of darkness that person may have had to climb out of in order to get over what it is that we see and might potentially say. Kids don't give a fuck. They're like, well, mom, dad, you're fat. Kids will do that. Kids will do that, and you got to take it. Now, put it to you like this, right? If me being a guy, if I were to go out here and basically tell a woman that she's fat, I would be a complete asshole. It'd be like, yo, women got chemical imbalances. Women deal with pregnancy. Women deal with women issues, women things. What type of asshole are you to sit up there and just go out here and to just be calling a random woman, out here fat? Like, who the fuck gave you that right? Are you God? Right? I'll be an asshole, right? But if a child does it, notice how everybody shuts the fuck up. See how that works? Adults lie, children don't. When children tell the truth, the world actually shuts the fuck up. If an adult tells the truth, oh, you're an asshole. You're a dick. What type of person? Who gave you the authority? Adults don't have all of that mouth when a child says the truth. Like, hey, dad, you're balding. You're bald. Let it go. Everybody's shutting the fuck up. Hey, mom, you're fat. You've been like that for 10 years. Everybody's shutting the fuck up. Like I said, it's a difference. It's a difference. Kids can read the room and they'll say exactly what it is. Adults will read the room and we'll just be like bird boxes, like, I think I think this word spells broke, but I don't exactly know what it is. Is somebody trying to say that they don't have any money? I don't know what it is. A child will be like, broke. We're not broke, but I know that, our account is always negative and red and we never have food in the refrigerator. Like kids will sit up there, they might not be able to spell it, but they will give you a description. Any which way it goes, kids will sit up there and tell you the truth. Like I said, it's crazy. But this is the world that we live in. The only people that can, in a sense, be truthful about anything is kids. So this is again the other reason why adults teach kids to lie. It's easier to lie versus tell the truth. Because when you lie, you save a person's feelings. It means you care, right? I grew up where if you told somebody the truth, that meant you actually cared a hell of a lot more. But as I actually grew older, it was like, no, it's the whole reverse. Like lying means you actually care about somebody. And a lot of people will sit up there and tell you, it was like, yo, I would have rather you lied to me versus tell me the truth. When I heard that, that was a head turner. That completely blew my mind. I'm like, you would rather me lie versus tell the truth. And then put it into another aspect. You wonder why it is that you have a lot of people out here that lie. That's why. A lie is more acceptable than the truth, and everybody knows it. There's been a lot of times that we have been in instances in life, from childhood or whatever, that we knew automatically that somebody was directly lying, but we were okay and we found comfort within that lie. We knew what the truth was, We, in a sense, wanted to know the truth, but we didn't want to know the truth at the same time. So we accepted the lie directly out of fear and became comfortable with that. But then as adults, we turn around and complain about people lying continuously. It doesn't make sense. Again, everything that I'm basically stating has to do with the fact of adults forcing kids to grow up faster than what they need to do. We're always putting these burdens, we're always putting these rules, we're always putting these responsibilities on children, and they're unnecessary. Children deserve to be children. Children don't deserve to be adult children. Children do not deserve to have titles that they're not even responsible for. Again, no 13-year-old boy should be called the man of the house, especially of a house that he didn't even have, he didn't even create. He didn't help create those other kids. He didn't create your misfortunes, your broken relationships. He didn't create your misguidedness throughout life. He didn't even create himself. Understand that he's not even a man of self yet. You can look at this 13-year-old on the right side. He looked like somebody I would have been playing basketball with. He looked like somebody I would have been playing basketball with. Me and my friends, we used to always sit up there and just either go to the park or go to like one of our boys' backyards, and we would be sitting up there hooping for hours. He got the exact setup. That's what my boy Chris used to wear. He used to have like some J's or something. He would have like the high socks, had them boys rolled all the way up, a white tee and some shorts, hooping. Now all that's gone because he was given something that it was not even built for him. It wasn't even built for him. This wasn't even his place. If she would have actually had a man in that house, he wouldn't have been out there in the streets trying to become some type of a man. That's the difference. And this is what I'm trying to tell a lot of black women out here. If you got a man in a house, your sons don't have to be the replacement for that man that should have been there. Stop picking the wrong types of guys to sleep with and to have kids with. And maybe you can actually save your sons. Maybe they can actually grow up to be somebody. Maybe they won't be growing up being in and out of jail, having records, running from the police, all this other type of stuff, creating a multitude of house of abandoned kids and all this other. But the problem is that coming from a man is going to fall on deaf ears. You got a lot of older women out here with platforms that ain't really sitting up there talking. I can only list a few women that have lended their voice over the years, that have literally made whole platforms dedicated to calling out women and single mothers and trying to correct this type of behavior, to stop it from being enabled. But the other multitudes of black women I've seen complain, all they do is run their mouth and yammer and complain about black men, 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 black men. They all do the same exact spiel. They all got the exact same scripts. It ain't no different. But somehow, some way, all the women that are subscribed to them really think that they are all speaking the word of God. It's a little bit baffling to me, and they not actually fixing nothing. Because if they were actually about fixing something, then they wouldn't really have a huge following base. They would have large subscribers. They would actually lose subscribers if they directly started talking to their subscribers the way that they should be talked to, making them be held accountable. Like it's crazy seeing a lot of these women out here uplifting the wrong things and thinking that it's some type of like positive goal. Like it's crazy to literally see women up here trying to cheer on single motherhood. My mom sat up there and told me, she was like, yo, the life I have for myself is not the life that I want for you. Don't go out here as a black man creating broken households, getting these young girls out here pregnant, because I am not going to sit up here and be behind you, and I am not going to sit up there and help you. That's what my mom told me. And I listened. I listened. But the key thing that she said is the life that I have for myself is not the life that I want for you. How many black women that are single mothers are speaking that way to their sons? Barely any. Barely any. Because I can tell by the way that these sons are moving out here. Barely any. They letting them rip and run and do all this type of like nonsense out here. And then you want to come back and say, oh, well, the father ain't shit and his family ain't shit. No, man, just to be honest, you're just the main person that ain't shit. Because it took for one person to exit out of the situation and wouldn't none of this be here. But I get and I understand that when it comes to women, it's a lot easier versus taking responsibility and acknowledgement of the actions that you do. It's a lot easier shifting all of that blame onto somebody else, making them 100% solely responsible and a perpetrator, and making yourself the victim so that everybody can feel sorry for you, versus acknowledging the fact that all you had to do was not open your legs to just that person. Therefore, none of this would exist. It actually takes a woman to admit that. And what I'm getting at is that you have a lot of adults out here who are female that are not actually women, because women are responsible for their actions. They can acknowledge, they value themselves. And within that, they show other people how to respect and value them as well. So, because I understood the words of my mother, I didn't become like some of the dudes that I seen in high school. I didn't become like when I was younger. I didn't become like some of the younger dudes that I saw. Like, let's say if I was 7 or 8 and I'm looking at some dudes that might be 19 or 20 already with kids, I didn't become those dudes. I didn't look up and was like, yeah, I want to sit up there and be like Twin right here. Right? I want to sit up there and have kids with, any, many, Mighty and Mo. I want to sit up there and yeah, I want to do that. I want to, have a harem. Nah, nah. Like I get it. It's like that's something to look up to when you don't got shit. I get that. I get it. But it's like if you actually as a man value yourself, you have like a little bit of knowledge of self, a little bit of love of self, you realize like having a whole bunch of women ain't really shit. Realistically. Like whatever. That's a whole like other like type of like conversation. But like I said, the message will end up falling on deaf ears. And at the end of the day, black women got to sit up there and like start stepping up and start speaking, because y'all ain't doing it. Y'all ain't doing it. It's like, all right, y'all. A lot of y'all want to sit up there and say, "Well, I'm afraid to talk to like these young girls and stuff out here." All right, that's cool. y'all got nieces out here, y'all got granddaughters out here. They might be anywhere from the ages of 0 all the way up until like 12 or something like that. Y'all got time. Y'all don't got no excuse. Y'all got time. The problem is a lot of y'all don't want to make time. So then now when these girls are like out of whack and they're 19 with like 4 kids, now y'all want to sit up there and start trying to like look around to place responsibility on somebody. It's like, nah, you a part of that responsibility. Start looking at yourself. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. Same way I sit up there and say that you need black men to be held accountable, you for damn sure need to have black women out here being made accountable for the reason that a lot of these young girls are going out here getting pregnant, hopping from dick to dick to dick, popping out baby to baby to baby with these wrong guys, not having consistent relationships, not being married to nobody. And then turn around saying, oh, I'm independent, I'm getting the bag. Or you'll see them on podcasts. Yeah, I like scammers and drug dealers. I don't want nobody who got no 9 to 5. I don't want no college educated dude. I like scammers and drug dealers because if I need 5 grand, you can just hurry up and go get it. I can just get the money. I with a 9 to 5 dude, I gotta wait for like 2 weeks for you to sit up there and get that check and then give me the money. And I just want y'all to realize the sorriest shit about this is that 9 times out of 10, it's black women to young black women who are saying all of this shit talking about they want scammers and drug dealers. You don't got Arab women saying this, Asian women saying this. You ain't really hearing European women saying this. The only way a European woman is saying this is if she grew up around black women. You don't be hearing Latin girls say that shit either. Like I said, this is the culture. This is the culture. This is the culture. And the only ones that can realistically stop this from being the culture is black women. And the main person that taught me that is a black woman. So can't no black woman sit up there and tell me shit. You ain't gonna sit up there and tell me, like, oh, well, if the black man was this and the black man was. My mom sat up there and gave me a message and I listened and I followed that message. So give me your next excuse because blaming the black man ain't gonna work here. It ain't happening. Like it's like it's 1,000% crazy, man. It's 1,000% crazy. Like I don't know who is the representative for Mrs. Blake. They should have gone over in an interview. They should have gave her something to say because the stuff that she said, it was just stuff that she shouldn't have said. It should have just been very straightforward and plain. I want justice for my son. Everything that happened was wrong. He is innocent up until proven guilty. His life does not deserve to get taken. Justice for my son. That is it. That's all that needed to be said. I would not have even made any type of either a video or a live stream basically critiquing that whole message. I would not have even have done it. I would have been just basically focused on the facts at hand, on why it is that he was out at 4 a.m. and why it is that the dude decided that he wanted to pull out a weapon on his own property. That's all I would have been focused on. But the focus completely shift because of her message. Like I said, they did whoever is whatever lawyer law firm is representing this family. Oh, that's the Cochran law firm. Johnny is probably rolling. If that's the same Cochran law firm that I'm thinking of, Johnny Cochran is rolling in his grave. because that was not how that should have went. That is not how that should have went. Like I said, condolences. Well, I didn't say it, but condolences to the friends and the family that know that young man. But hopefully, the main thing that they learn from this situation is to be more involved. All of them, if they do not want this to happen again, all of them need to take responsibility and treat this as a village moment. And everybody needs to be raising those children. Everybody needs to get all of their stuff straight and raise those children so that they got a higher life expectancy. Because if this is the life expectancy, the rest of those kids don't got a chance. If 13 is it, they don't got a chance. They do not got a chance. And then that's the next thing too. So now the next expectancy for those kids is to make it past 13. Just think about that. Those kids are going to be growing up knowing the fact that their brother lost his life at 13. So now they got to be hoping, they're going to be anxious to like make it to 13 and see if they even make it to 13 and make it past 13. That's crazy. Kids going to end up having anxiety. It's going to be it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Wait, wait, Gil, you said don't say what? Wait, maybe it might be delayed possibly. Cause I'm talking and it's at like 116 and oh no, no. Gail just wrote that. No, but I'm being real though. Because they're going to end up somehow, some way, those young kids, they probably know that their brother is not coming back. They don't know the full details. No. But they are though. Because it was like that was the bar. It was like, all right, my brother's 13. I can't wait to, be 13 like him and do XYZ. And that's what usually kids do. When I was younger and I saw my cousins that I used to hang around with, they hated me being around them. They were teenagers. I was like single digits. I was like, yo, I can't wait to like, get like be like a teenager and I can be out, when the street lights are on and be like them and be down the street, talking with friends and all this other type of stuff and walking because I thought that was just like that was the stuff to do. Like you were outside, you heard like the music and everybody was out laughing and stuff and it was street lights and you were inside the house on lockdown because you're single digits. You're not supposed to be out there, right? So you got his younger brothers and sisters or whatever looking at him. And they were like, yo, I can't wait to, be like him. He get to go out at, 4 and at 12 and I'm in the house. I can't wait to be like him. Not as it ain't nothing to be like. Not as in a sense gonna be like a dreaded moment. It's like 13 is rolling up. I wanted to be like my brother at 13. I can't be like him now because he's dead. So I don't want to be dead. So it's like, what am I gonna be like? So it's like they were already, in a sense, measuring themselves up to somebody who was already misguided. Now that misguided ruler is broken and completely gone off the map. Now they don't have themselves to like measure up to nothing. So it's a complete blank slate that anything could come in and basically be the ruler for. That's how it was for him. He didn't have nobody to look up to. He didn't have a measuring stick. He had to basically go out and figure it out. So now those kids not having him to potentially learn, having the ability to learn from his mistakes, like, yo, everything that I did was messed up. I went through juvenile, I went through this, I went through that. I don't want y'all to be like this. I want y'all to do this. Some of these young dudes actually learned earlier on and they start straightening up. That could have potentially been the road that he could have been on if allowed, but his life was cut short. So now anybody can swoop in and misguide these kids. I done shown y'all a multitude of videos of single mothers having countless men around kids, and then they kids end up getting touched. So he was the oldest at 13. Who's going to be there to watch the kids? If the mother ain't there watching the kids, who's going to be there to watch the kids? Who's going to be there to protect those kids from the next man to step up in that house? Who? Nobody. I can take this a multitude of different ways. It ain't none of it positive. Like I said, I can't focus on the mother crying, being a victim, feeling sad about the situation. You don't have that luxury when you have other kids depending on you. You got to be focused because you're the mother and the father, right? You're independent. You don't live with no man. Your son was that man. So now that man is gone. So now you got to play the roles. You got to play the cards that you dealt for yourself. You don't have the luxury of crying. You don't have the luxury of being a victim. You're Superman. Act as such. Because those kids depend on you. Metropolis depends on you. Because sooner or later, those villains are going to show up. It is going to be up to you to defend those citizens. Good luck. Like I said, it's like, it used to be at a point a long time ago. I used to sit up there and I used to empathize with the women out here when they lost their kids. Because I would sit up there and picture myself and I would try to, have an understanding of how my mom would felt if she would have had lost me at a young age. She didn't because I sat up there, paid attention, I listened. And now it got to the point where all of that sympathy and all that, I'm out. That's clear cut, like going out of the window. So when I do videos and I start sounding like a jackass, that's because I'm not caring about the emotional aspect. I'm caring about, all right, if you if you got other kids, if one kid has passed and you got other kids, you don't have time to be doing all of this because all that emotion is going to be clouding your judgment. And especially for a woman, it's going to be clouding your judgment because you're going to be looking for a shoulder to cry on. And you're going to have a lot of predators, a lot of male predators out there that's going to be like, oh, she lost her son. That's bad. She got other kids there. It ain't no fathers there. All right, let me see what I can sit up there and do. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have men looking at that situation, trying to see what opportunities are there, and they're going to see if it's worth trying to sit up there and go for it. And a lot of women allow it to happen, not understanding that these are opportunists, that these are predators coming to hunt. Because y'all going through an emotional situation and y'all not thinking logically about the men that y'all interacting with. Again, this is how a lot of these kids out here end up getting touched. Like I said, I can take this a variety of different ways. Ain't nothing positive. Because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. I don't care about no family members getting on here crying, losing their minds, shedding tears, giving their opinions. What are you going to do for the kids that's left? How are you going to protect them? How are you going to enable them to have a better life, to have a better life expectancy? How are you going to make sure that they don't end up like this young man walking the wrong road because you wasn't there? How are you going to save them? That's the shit that I don't never hear when I hear these interviews. I never hear none of these parents talking about how to save these kids. use my story as an example as what not to do as a parent. I never hear parents say that. It's always, woe is me. Look what happened to me. Look what they did to me. It's always a disappointment. It's always a disappointment. It's always a disappointment. Like it does not, it ceases to amaze me. I would just love it if the moment in time we have stories that the adults would actually take fucking responsibility for once. Take responsibility. If you're, for anybody that's a parent out there, this is just Seji being honest. You can fucking unsubscribe. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I can give a fuck less. This is just me being honest. Because other people ain't gonna motherfucking be honest with you. This has nothing to do with money. This has nothing to do with subscribers. None of that shit. I can give a fuck less. So what I'm going to say to you is this. If your kids are in a sense fucked up right now, it's because you're a fucked up individual. If your kids are still young and they're fucked up, you have a chance to correct their nature at this moment in time. You have a chance to actually save your kids, to be beneficial to your kids. You have a chance to actually be a proper parent instead of being a fuck up. Why, as a parent, would you want a story like this to be the story of your child? Why? Why would you want to allow your child to continue down a fucked up path that is going to inevitably lead to their demise, where you're now going to have to plan a funeral? You got to figure out potentially if you might do an open or a closed casket. Like, you're going to have to, whatever happens, like, I don't really think parents actually understand whatever fucked up decision that you make right now with your kids, you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. It don't matter if you have 9 other kids after this kid. You have to deal with this still. Just because you had other kids don't mean you're going to make up for that first one. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. I'm not sure why a lot of parents out here, trust me, I know somebody doing this. I know somebody that is doing this, that is completely screwed off several kids. But then, all right, I got a brand new bunch right here. I'm gonna sit up there and be a father right here. That's not how that works. Because that first group of kids, they know the person that you are. Those young ones might not know. So yeah, it's a clean slate. You can act brand new and all this other type of shit. You can be the father that you always wished that you were. But those original kids, they know who the fuck you are. You can't erase that. You can't get rid of that. Every time you see them, you know the fuck up you are. Every time they see you, they know the fuck up you are. The only saving grace that you technically got are those new kids, but sooner or later, you're still going to fuck up and they're still going to peer into and understand slightly the type of person that you are. Like I said, it's a lot of adults out here that don't understand the blessings that children are. You could have potentially been a fucked up individual your whole life. And you can have this child and you can be a whole nother person. You can actually grow and change into a whole nother person. Not because, in a sense, for you, but to benefit that child that needs that. Like I said, I wish more adults out here actually cared about kids. I really, really wish more adults actually cared about kids. Because if they did, the world would be a lot better place. It really would. It would be so much brighter and everything else. Now is just dim. It's dark. It's desolate. It's cold. The sun is out right now, but it's still cold. And that's due to the fact of the lack of light coming from a lot of these kids because they're not being sheltered. They're not being nurtured. They're not being taught. They're not being guarded. They're not being protected. It's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. Yep. But, I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to leave it as that. I didn't plan on being here for a long time. We did pretty good. 35, 40 people directly in here. So hopefully somebody actually got that message ahead of time and they can potentially save themselves and also save their kids so that this story does not end up being theirs. So again, thanks for anybody who happened to listen and watch this live stream. Love you guys. Care about you guys. Go watch some happy stuff so you can get out of this sad, angry type of energy. So again, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Go have fun, go eat some food, order something, go watch a movie, go, take a walk and, different things of that nature. Peace, love. And I'll see you guys again when I'm not sick. Oh, man. Let me tell you. Peace out.